Hey there, thanks for tuning in to this edition of Vision, the show all about the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm Lindsay Poe, your host for this season, and today we're talking all about ROTC here at Mississippi State, which is a part of the College of Arts and Sciences. And our first guest I want to welcome to the set, Lieutenant Colonel Erin Mock. Welcome.
Hi, Lindsay.
Thank you so much for coming in today. There's kind of a lot to talk about with ROTC. I mean, I think it's something that everybody hears, the average person hears about, but we're not quite sure how it works. So we'll get to that, but I kind of wanted to talk about your story a little bit.
Okay.
So you are Lieutenant Colonel.
That's correct.
Prestigious title. I'm sure it took a lot of work to get there. Tell us about it, synopsis-wise. How long have you been in the Army, whatnot?
Okay. I've been in the Army for 20 years, so quite a long time. I started out, I'm an armor officer in the United States Army, and I started out actually enlisted before I commissioned. Okay. And then did several assignments over the years in places like Colorado, Washington State, Europe, other places, and went along different assignments, led to promotions, and then I chose to try to come teach at ROTC, and I was selected to come here to Mississippi State to be the Professor of Military Science and the head of the Army ROTC department here at Mississippi State.
So is this assignment as Professor of Military Science the first time you were on a college campus doing that kind of role?
It is, actually. Okay. It is. I've done several other things throughout my time in the Army, but this is the first time I've been in this type of environment.
And how long have you been here at Mississippi State?
I've been here for almost a year now. I got here in June of last year, and spent the summer getting to know Starkville and the campus, and then anxiously awaiting all the cadets to come back to school in August. And it's been a great time.
It's a little different, right? Working with college students.
It is. It's different, but it's fun, and we get to see all these kids grow and develop, and we see a lot of them from when they're freshmen in college until they graduate as a senior, and just to see the change in some of the kids as they come through here, and the development and the maturity that they get from specifically being part of the ROTC program is really cool.
Right. So you teach the senior level.
I do.
Right.
Yes.
And the Army side of ROTC.
That's correct.
There are two sides here at Mississippi State, two branches, I guess.
There is.
Army and Air Force.
That's correct.
And so can you just speak on, I guess, ROTC? So what does it stand for, first of all, for our viewers, and kind of how it works here at a university?
Okay, so Army ROTC, well, ROTC in general is a Reserve Officer Training Commission program, and basically what that means is that we take all of these students that are here at the university that want to join the ROTC program, and when they graduate with their bachelor's degree, they can then commission as officers in either, in this case, both the Army and the Air Force. And so it's generally anywhere from a 2 to 4 year program that they do while they're here on campus, and just gives them a lot of leadership experience. We specifically teach the military sciences, and so there's different levels, and they learn that it's a progressive curriculum. So the freshmen learn what it's like to be in the Army in general. Okay. And then as we go through the different levels, they get more focused on becoming lieutenants and leaders in both of the services. They'll be lieutenants in the Army or in the Air Force.
Okay, and so I think that's the biggest difference for people to understand is that you can enlist in the Army.
That's correct.
But if you want to become an officer and move up the ranks maybe a little bit quicker, coming and joining ROTC is important in that, and having an education.
Yeah, it's a requirement for all commissioned officers in any branch of service to have a degree. Okay. And so you can enlist straight out of high school and join the service and serve, or you can go get your degree and be a commissioned officer.
Okay, you sort of touched on this a little bit, but I think it got lost in me asking another question. So what has been your favorite part of working on a college campus and being able to be a mentor, an instructor to young people that maybe want to aspire to be like you one day?
Okay. I think there's a couple things. The first one really is, it's completely different than the normal Army experience. And so it's challenged me in a lot of ways because it is so much different than anything I've done in the past. But it's a great opportunity also, and that's really the second piece of it is, it's like I mentioned before, our mission is to develop leaders for, in our case, the Army. Yeah. And to see these kids progress over time and, you know, change from their freshman year to their sophomore year, and that maturity and that experience that they gain, that will, you know, serve them well not only in the Army but also in the civilian world if they choose to go in that direction at some point.
Wonderful, and we have one of those cadets coming up in the second half of our show. So we're going to toss it to a commercial break. Thank you so much for being here, and stick with us. We'll have that cadet coming up after this break.
You know the scene in those popular TV crime shows when the investigators show up? The one where they scratch their heads while trying to figure out who committed the homicide and when? At Mississippi State University, we're solving mysteries behind real-life crime scenes with forensic research that's a first of its kind. Teaming with microbiologists from around the country, we're examining microscopic bacteria that can help solve real murders. So far, our partnership with a major metropolitan medical examiner is yielding results with more than 200 real-life crime samples analyzed. We're learning how microbiomes change and relocate, uncovering evidence in criminal investigations by better pinpointing time of death. Way more exciting than being a TV detective. We're finding crucial answers when they're needed most. Solving mysteries with science, that's worth watching. Our world is changing. The way we work, the way we connect, the way we see things around us. At Mississippi State University, we're agents of change, creating our own bright futures, solving real problems, turning challenges into possibilities, and lighting the way to a whole new world of emerging markets. Through MSU's new state-of-the-art Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach, we're collaborating across campus, sharing perspectives and resources of multiple disciplines to power dreams. But we're so much more than dreamers. We've launched hundreds of student-led businesses, earning millions in revenue, and impacting our state's economy in new and creative ways. We're the next generation of business leaders, and we're ready for a changing world. How do we know we're ready? Because we're the ones changing it.
Thanks for sticking with us. Welcome back. For the second half of our show today, we've got Cadet Nichols in studio. He's a senior in the Army ROTC program here at Mississippi State. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, easy question, sort of, I guess, but tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Why'd you decide to come to Mississippi State?
Of course. I'm an out-of-state student. I'm not only a cadet, but I'm not from Mississippi. I'm from San Antonio, Texas,
wow.
But my dad graduated commission through Mississippi State's Air Force ROTC program. So it kind of runs in the family a little bit. I chose to come here for, some family reasons. It was the first school I got accepted to be completely honest. And so
okay.
I just kind of took that and ran with it.
And your dad's an alum.
Correct.
So,
yes,
I mean, that was an easy pick for you. But San Antonio, Texas, a long way, but you're used to moving around a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Growing up as an Air Force brat, it's nothing uncommon. So.
Right. So, tell us about then why you chose ROTC. Because while we were chatting here before the segment, you said, I didn't even join it my freshman year. I was a sophomore. So how did that work? What was that process like? Yeah,
so I guess, not anything uncommon for most college students. I had no idea what in the world I wanted to do my freshman year of college. So I found a major that I liked. I considered some options outside of college. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So my second year, I started joining the Army ROTC program. I didn't contract with them immediately or anything, but I took a semester to kind of try it out, feel it. And honestly, as soon as I as soon as I joined, I realized it was where I needed to be. There were some things that, I wasn't sure about. There were some questions, uncertainties I had, but I knew at the end of the day it was a service, and it was a life of service that I was ultimately going to be called to do, upon commissioning and graduation.
Right.
So it was, as soon as I joined, it was something that I knew it was where I needed to be.
It was a good fit.
Yes, ma'am.
So you alluded to this. ROTC students major in various departments
Correct.
across campus. What is your major?
I'm a kinesiology major.
Okay,
so,
kinesiology.
yes,
And so you're almost like a student athlete is. You're a student ROTC member. And so what's your schedule like? You know, how does it differ from the regular student on campus?
So the schedule is definitely something that takes some getting used to. But after a semester of doing it, either your freshman or sophomore year, whenever a student decides to join, you get used to it real quick. You don't really have a choice but to get used to it.
Right.
Early mornings, a lot less sleep than the average college student, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. It provides you with the opportunity to commission, as we talked about, as an active duty or National Guard officer in the Army once you earn your degree.
Right. So early mornings, rigorous schedule, lots of active work.
Correct.
I'm assuming.
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Especially in this branch of the Army. I mean, that's half the battle is being ready and physically fit.
Right.
And so whether it's PT three mornings a week at minimum, or lab and class, those alternating days, whatever it is, it's a rigorous schedule, but it's well worth it, like I said, and takes some getting used to. With
Kinesiology and being in the ROTC, what are your career goals?
Well, first and foremost, it's to graduate. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
But
Almost.
That's obviously the priority. It's a struggle for a lot of kids. There's certain classes you have to take as a cadet that you have to fit in your curriculum alongside your major core classes. And so with some military history class and military science classes, things like that, it does make graduation the first and foremost priority. So obviously that'll, Lord willing, come in December, and then after that, I'll go to the basic officer leadership course, bullet, for whatever branch I get selected into. So that's kind of my next immediate goal. Obviously, graduation, commissioning, and then the first kind of school I go to after this. That's my immediate goal. So just kind of taking one thing at a time. That's how I've lived my life. So
wonderful. Well, we wish you all the luck in your upcoming graduation and your future career in the Army.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us
for
today, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Vision.